for some C# development. I'm going to help you out. We're going to go through the steps of installing the .NET SDK, installing Visual Code, and installing some extensions for C# development. Let's do it. So you have a couple of options. You can go to the website to download the .NET SDK and download Visual Studio Code, or you can use a tool that's installed on Windows called Winget to install that using command line stuff. So we can do command prompt. We're going to run as administrator. Yep. And we're going to type in Winget install Microsoft SDK. Boom. And it's going to download the installer, and then it's going to run the installer. You're going to see a little installer pop up. So this is required for doing .NET development on your machine. You know, we're on SDK 8. You're watching this in the future. It could be 9, 10, 30. Who knows? You got to get the most recent version, though. And I can show you how to look that up real quick once this is done installing. So Winget has a search function. So you could say Winget search .NET.SDK, and it'll pull up all the SDKs. So you can see we're on preview 9, and there could be 9, 10, 12. Who knows what's available in the future. We got the SDK installed, so the next step is to install VSCode. So there's a similar command here where you could say Winget search Visual Studio Code, and it'll pull up the versions of Visual Studio Code over here. We want the most recent one, 191. Again, you're in the future, so that's probably on 5. The important thing is you got to scope the install to machine, or you should. So I'm going to do that. Otherwise, it's going to do it to just your user, and then you get some weird stuff going on if you were to do that. I mean, unless you're a admin and you're like, oh, everything has to be installed onto your user account, then have at it. I'm not responsible for any problems you have because of that. All right, so we have the SDK installed, we have code installed. We want to install the extensions for that. So the way we could do that is to open up VS Code, and you can go into the extensions and type in C#, and here it is, the dev kit, and you can install that, and that'll install the base language support and something else. I think it's like the .NET .NET Framework Installer, I think is what it is. So if we were to refresh, come back here, and we can say, clear that out, and you can see the ones that are installed. Install the dev kit, C#, and yeah, the .NET install tool. So all these guys are required. So let's close this down, and we're going to create a test project to make sure that we have C# installed, running, and a debugging environment. So what we're going to do is jump to C. We're going to make a folder for source. This is where we're going to put all our projects. You can come in here in CMD to open up command line over here in your source directory, and you can run a .NET new console and then name it test project or whatever. Boom. So now you could say dir, you could see we got test project there. We can change directory to test project, and we type in code period, and that should open up VS Code inside that directory. And program CS, you can put your cursor there. You can set a breakpoint by just clicking over here, leaving a red dot, or you put your cursor there, you hit F9, and then you come down here and you hit debug, and you should be able to see a breakpoint with local variables, and if you hit F5 to continue, you'll see it said hello world. All done. You got a working environment for C# development using VS Code. Go have some fun.